Out the latest impeachment hearing news.
One student invented an app to help QU's campus. Connor Kelty explains his capstone project.
Tragedy struck as West Ranch High comes together after a shooting during their football game.
Hello and welcome to QUTV News This Week. I'm Alexa Lowe.
And I'm Taylor King. One student saw a problem on campus and is using his capstone project to resolve it.
I talked with senior Connor Kelty about the app he invented for QU's campus. Many students have expressed frustration with the QU shuttle bus. Oftentimes, the bus does not come at the time the students are told. I asked a couple students if the shuttle bus is often running late.
Yeah, I was like 10 minutes late to class just now because of it.
Saying the shuttle bus stopped in front of North Campus, but the bus is nowhere to be in sight when it was supposed to be here at 1:30. Connor Kelty decided to invent an app that would track the bus. Students can now know when the bus will be arriving within 12 seconds.
I started with just an idea of being able to track the shuttles that go from North Campus to main campus, being able to see, when they're going to be there, where they're at exactly. That way you can kind of plan for, especially when it's cold out. You don't have to just sit out there and wait. You can see when the shuttle is actually going to be there.
Willis and Houghton said Kelty's app could be useful to themselves and others on campus.
Instead of just sitting there guessing for 20 minutes, is it going to come? Instead of, all right, I got 10 minutes, I might be able to eat in the calf.
Kelty has put over 400 hours of work into the app and is excited to see what the future holds.
The driver can log in using the app. The users can get into the app. It immediately displays a map. And then on that, if the driver has activated their actual route, the users will be able to see them actively on the map and then see where the bus is at, implementing notifications to your phone directly.
Kelty's dream has been to bring an app to Quincy. This capstone project allowed him to do so. The app can be made for any iOS or Android device. Kelty expects the app to be done around next February or March.
Students are being asked to help recognize a professor. The Excellence in Teaching Awards. This award will be presented to a full-time faculty member. The member should be enthusiastic, student-focused, academically motivated, and live by the QU mission. Recent winners are excluded and nominations will be due by Friday, April 3rd. Students can find the Google form in an email sent out by Mary Betts.
Don't forget to return your fall textbooks. All books will be due by noon December 13th. Registration for spring of 2020 will remain open until November 22nd. Any holds placed on your account need to be removed before you can register for classes. $10 may make a difference for shoppers of this store.
See which store is making this change when we come back.
Taught him how to hit a baseball, how to hit a receiver, the strike zone, the net. You taught him how to hit the upper corner. You even taught him how to hit the open man. But how much time have you spent teaching him what not to hit?
take a look at the way Saugus Strong rallied just one day after this horrific school shooting.
Massive fundraisers Friday night. One common goal. A playoff game featuring the visiting Long Beach Wilson and hometown West Ranch High had a lot more on the line than just football. Cue the Wildcats taking the field with rival Saugus High School's flag and the initials SHS.
Everybody's in the same school district, so when it hits one of our schools, it hits all of our school.
Everyone asked to dress in Centurion blue, a handwritten message banner, a halftime vigil balloon release, and the majority of the proceeds going to the Saugus victims and their families. All
to show that even though he did this to put fear in our hearts, we're all together and we're gonna get through this together.
Pizza for Ben!
5 miles away.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you. No.
It's the least we can do.
At a packed Vincenzo's Pizza, a fundraiser that was originally meant for just the Saugus soccer team changed course Friday.
People are wonderful here. I did not expect this. I had a woman come in this morning at opening and order some food and hand me a check for $1,000 made out to Saugus.
The one word I repeatedly heard Friday night was,
it's like overwhelming.
Oh my gosh, we are overwhelmed with the turnout.
But what I also heard was, that's just Saugus.
I grew up in Newhall. Saugus was my rival. I went to Hart High, but tonight we're all Centurions.
At the football game, they also had buckets for people that wanted to make donations. After a full day yesterday, 3 more witnesses are slated to appear before the House Intelligence Committee today.
President Trump dismissive of much of the witness testimony in the impeachment inquiry so far.
All these people are talking about, they heard a conversation of another conversation that was had by the president. What's going on is a disgrace.
But today's key witness did have contact with the president, and Democrats have more questions for the U.S. ambassador to the European Union, Gordon Sondland.
We've had a lot of context, we've had a lot of circumstantial evidence, none of it good for the president, but we haven't actually heard somebody say, here's what the president told me to do.
Sondland was tapped by the president, along with Energy Secretary Rick Perry and former Special Envoy to Ukraine, Kurt Volker, to handle U.S. policy with Ukraine. Volker, after telling lawmakers last month he didn't see evidence of a quid pro quo of U.S. aid and a meeting with President Trump conditioned on Ukrainians investigating the Bidens and Democrats, said yesterday he should have seen things differently.
I now understand that others saw the idea of investigating possible corruption involving the Ukrainian company Burisma as equivalent to investigating former Vice President Biden. I saw them as very different, the former being appropriate and unremarkable, the latter being unacceptable. In retrospect, I should have seen that connection differently.
Five Below, a popular store that sells products for $5 or less, is undergoing a change. It will start selling things above $5 for the first time in 17 years. The company says it has tried to keep prices down but can't sustain those prices for items like tech gadgets and toys. The items costing up to $10 will be in separate sections of the stores. They will have a toys and games section called 10 Below Gift Shop and an electronics section called 10 Below Tech. The company said most of its merchandise remains below $5, so it's keeping the store name.
Here with now in the studio is Kristen Leeson from the Quest Center. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Good. So she's here to talk to us about internship and internship opportunities and how that she helps students out with that. So how can students find out about internship opportunities? Do they go through you first?
Yeah, so they can do it a variety of ways. I encourage them to always have a conversation with their faculty member, come to the Quest Center. But even prior to that, I think students need to go through a couple steps. One being really talking through what is their career goal, where do they hope to end up, because we really want to make sure that we're matching the internship with their end goal. So that's through a lot of conversation. The second thing would be to make sure that they have their resume ready to go. The first thing an employer is going to ask is, send me your resume. And so we want to make sure that that's polished, that it's not a rushed job of trying to just get it to them, that we've had time to look it through, have their faculty members make sure that they have the right information on it. And then, yes, the Quest Center is definitely a resource. They can find opportunities posted online through the portal, and they can also look at our career notes that comes out weekly for internship opportunities.
That's great. I am also wondering, how can you keep an internship?
Yeah, so you have it, and you want to make sure that you're putting your best foot forward, showing up on time, being ready to work from the moment that you get there, being willing to take on extra jobs, keeping that positive attitude, a can-do attitude, that whatever task might be thrown your way, that you're willing to accept it and do it to your best ability. And I would say communication is key. Make sure that you're clear on what your expectations are. What is the internship regarding, and are you doing it right? And then always asking for feedback. The last thing I would suggest is that for students to make sure that if there's a project or something that the organization's working on, offer to help. Any more information you could get, because ultimately you want an internship to turn into a full-time job. Right. That would be the perfect goal, and so doing those steps can often lead to that.
Right, those are great tips for students being able to use those. And finally, what are some things that you do behind the scenes to help the students through this process?
So we work a lot with the employers, talking with them to try to get their positions posted for our students to see. We do a lot of target emails to specific groups. So if a organization calls in and says we're looking for a human resource student or human services major, we will target all of the human services majors that are majoring in that, and send an email to them and the faculty members, as well as we'll work with the employers to make sure that we're doing the best. Are our students fulfilling their internship? Are they following up correctly? What kind of feedback can we provide faculty? Are they teaching the right things? So we try to do a little bit of that. And then what I love when students will come into my office, and I'll try to make some referrals for them. I'll network with them and for them. We'll have some conversations about what it's like to network and who you should network with, whether that be faculty. They're a huge resource, and often the #1 resource. I can provide some assistance as well, and then networking with family and friends.
Yeah, networking is huge. That is the key. Thank you so much for coming out today.
Thank you.
It seems like the temperatures are getting a little bit warmer outside.
You know, I love to see it. I'm still not ready for that cold. We'll have Zach Parks joining us next for our weekend forecast.
It isn't a building. It isn't an arena or field. It isn't a classroom. It's a friendship. It's the bonds you form. It's an opportunity. It's the experience. It's a Q thing. Schedule your visit today.
Nearly 3 million Americans served in Vietnam, and more than 58,000 have their names inscribed on the wall, those that paid the ultimate price in service to America. The Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund, the organization that built the wall, works to ensure the legacies of those who sacrificed all for our country are never forgotten. I'm asking you to help keep the promise the wall was built on. Never forget. Visit vvmf.org to find out how you can get involved.
Every year, 30,000 elephants are killed by poachers. 8 million tons of plastic is dumped into the ocean, and 18 million acres of forest disappear. And with them, many of the remarkable animals that share our planet. These animals need our help. Their very survival depends on our ability to protect them. Zoos and aquariums are on the front lines of wildlife conservation and inspire environmental stewardship amongst the millions of families that visit every year. And know that zoos and aquariums that have earned the Humane Certified Seal of Approval from American Humane will not give up until every species has a fighting chance for survival. Find out more and help protect and preserve the amazing creatures that share our world.
What kind of weather will we be seeing for those of us staying on break over Quincy?
I hope it's not too bad for people that are staying here, but I know I'll be seeing a foot of snow when I go back home to Michigan, so let us know what we have, Zach.
Yeah, well, we're going to be expecting some pretty good weather, much better than we saw last week. We saw some 30-degree weather last week. We're going to be seeing some 40-degree. We're going to be seeing all that snow go away and some decent weather. So I'll show you guys what we got for the week with weather. We are seeing some partly cloudy weather here. We're going to be seeing a chance of rain from Wednesday into Thursday, and even a chance of snow maybe into Thursday on Turkey Day. Today we have a high of 52 degrees with a low of 33. The normal is 58 degrees with a low of 39. The record was in 2008. It was 76 degrees that day and then on 1939 we saw a low of 22 degrees. We're seeing a temperature of 62 degrees with a humidity of 52 and a 40% chance of rain. Sunset at 4:45. We're seeing the sunset go down more and more each day as the winter finally approaches. And for tonight, we're going to see 52 degrees with a humidity of 70% and some storms into the AM. Thursday, we're going to see a 6:57 a.m. sunrise with a temperature of 59 degrees, humidity of 74%, and a 60% chance of rain. Like I said, we're going to be seeing some rain through Wednesday night into the morning of Thursday. Into the weekend, we're going to be seeing 41 degrees on Friday as a high, and then into the night, 31 degrees as a low. Saturday, it's partly cloudy with 43 degrees as the high. As we get later into the week, we are going to see pretty average temperatures of low 40s. In Monday and Tuesday, we're going to see some low to mid 50s, and into Wednesday, we're going to see some scattered showers, maybe some isolated showers through the night. Here are some wonderful pictures from Jess Abrego. And hopefully that snow is going to be finally done. We get to see some ducks there. I love ducks. And hopefully that we can keep some pretty good weather into Thanksgiving.
Yeah, those pictures were great. She really knows how to capture a good weather moment there.
Thanks for coming on, Zach.
Absolutely.
On QU Football's Senior Day, a senior set multiple school records.
Sports Director Shane Holsey will join us next.
Soccer is a physically demanding sport that often results in a tie. Student life comes with its own demands, and often it feels like the losses outnumber the wins. Sometimes you just need someone to listen. It's comforting to know our Quincy team extends beyond the field.
You have to make it your cue for you to do what you love.
Joining Joining us now is Sports Director Shane Holsey.
An exciting football game for QU this weekend.
Yeah, it was definitely the most exciting game I've ever called. Definitely a fun one and a great way to end the season for the Hawks. On senior day, you always want to leave on a high note, and boy, did the Hawks do that Saturday against William Jewell. The Hawks are looking to improve on their 4-win total from last season in a matchup with the 1-9 William Jewell Cardinals. We picked things up in the fourth quarter, Hawks up 41-35. William Jewell with the ball, 4th and goal from the 5-yard line. Cardinals QB Will Schneider, he's going to keep it himself, and it's a race to the pylon, and he is going to win it. Touchdown Cardinals, his 3rd rushing touchdown of the day. Cardinals take a 42-41 lead after the PAT. Ensuing Hawks possession, QU facing a 4th and 22. They need a first down or their season's probably over. Senior QB Andrew Run back to throw, not much rust to speak of. He lofts it up, and Brandon Gaston goes up and gets it, takes a shot, hangs on. What a throw and catch by the 2 seniors to keep the drive alive. 30 seconds to go now. 1st and goal from the 1-yard line. Ossie Calhoun, he's going to get the handoff up the middle. He's going to run into a massive humanity at the goal line. You can't really see him, but he gets in for the touchdown, and the Hawks take a 5-point lead with 24 seconds left. The Cardinals would have one last chance with no timeouts left. First play of the drive, Schneider, he's going to look to throw to the sideline. He's going to overshoot his receiver, and Andrew Houston, whether he was inbounds or not, we may never know, but they call him inbounds, and his 2nd interception of the day seals the game and the Hawks' 5th victory of the season. What a way for these seniors to go out, and undoubtedly the win of the year for the Hawks. Now, Rund set multiple records with a spectacular performance against those Cardinals, and quite frankly, he couldn't ask for a better way to end the season than he did on Saturday. Run out of the pistol, play action on the first play. He's looking for Stamp, and he's wide open on the far side out across the 40. Andrew Rund had a senior day to remember. The Hawks QB threw for a school record 486 yards and set a new single-season school record with 3,151 passing yards. Rund says the game felt almost like a figment of his imagination.
It means a lot to me. I mean, you can't really felt like a dream when I woke up the next day and realizing that everything that had happened.
On 4th and long with just over a minute left, Rund found senior Brandon Gaston in between 4 Cardinals defenders for 24 yards. This kept the drive alive, and Ossie Calhoun eventually scored the game-winning touchdown with 23 seconds left. QU head coach Gary Bass sent a message up to the good Lord before that 4th down play.
Right about the time we're about to call the play and run it, I literally look up. I go, please, Lord, I'm begging you, let this work. We had the right person at quarterback. I'll go to my grave with that, with the young man that we got leading this team right now. And I hate to see that his career's over, but you know, to have it in anyone else's hands since I've been here, wouldn't trade it for the world.
Senior day not only marked the end of Andrew Rund's career, but it also signaled the end of an era for the Rund family.
I mean, I'm the youngest of 4 siblings, so that marked the end of all sports for my family that game. So it was kind of awesome to go out on a high note with all my brothers there and siblings. So
it was the perfect ending.
You couldn't write a better script for that young man and how he ended his career this year. So for him, I couldn't be more happy for one individual.
A gift from the heavens, you could say. Rund also broke the school record for most completions and attempts in the season and finishes 2nd in QU history in passing yards. Great career for Mr. Rund. The men's basketball team was back in action Sunday for the first time in 8 days, taking on the St. Louis College of Pharmacy. The Hawks moved back over 500 with a 77-61 win. Tanner Stuckman led the way with 19 points, and Jonas Smith had 14 himself off the bench. The Hawks hit the road again to take on Purdue Northwest on Saturday. The women's team was also in action on Sunday, blowing out Kentucky Wesleyan for their first win of the season. Marta Rivera led the Hawks with 15 points, and Alexander Petrovic, Ella Gobald, and Sarah Nelson added 14 points apiece. The Hawks resume play this weekend as they host the Subway Classic. Quincy will take on Upper Iowa Friday at 7 and Winona State on Saturday. The QU women's volleyball team, their playoff hopes, they were still alive entering the weekend, but they needed to win both their games Friday and Saturday and get some help from some other teams to make it. The Hawks took care of their business with a sweep of Southern Indiana on Friday. Emily Rehagen led the way with 16 kills for the Hawks. Then on Saturday, the Hawks needed a win against McKendree and a win by Lindenwood over Missouri S&T to reach the postseason, but neither of those would happen. The Hawks fell to the Bearcats in 4 sets, and the Miners beat the Lions in 4 sets as well. Alana Rothermick had 15 kills to lead the Hawks, and Rehagen had 12 kills. Now the freshman Rehagen, she finishes the season with double-digit kills in 12 of her final 13 games. Great season for her. The Hawks finished with a record of 15-17, a 3-win improvement on their 12-19 record from last season, and their 7-8 mark in GOVC play is a 5-win improvement on their 22-16 mark in 2018. Aubrey and Cooper Reese took home some hardware last Thursday. The Cousins each earned second-team All-GOVC honors, Aubrey at forward and Cooper at midfield. Aubrey led the Hawks with 8 goals and 19 points in his senior season, and Cooper started all but 1 game and had 3 goals and 5 assists as the Hawks finished with a 9-8 record. So not exactly the season Mike Carpenter and the Hawks are hoping for. They didn't make postseason play, but the Reese boys earned some postseason hardware.
I'd say well-deserved for sure. Thank you, Shane.
No problem.
A miracle is caught on camera at the scene of a crash.
And the world's most famous rodents are celebrating a birthday. Coming up in today's Take a Look at This.
Quincy University's Res Life community is here to help you.
3 people walked away unscathed from a crash in Illinois. State police are calling it a miracle. Here's Jeremy Roth.
Narrow escape from a crash has been dubbed a miracle on ice. Illinois State Police were assisting a stranded vehicle when a box truck suddenly lost control. The truck passed right over a woman and missed the troopers by mere inches.
Are you okay? Can you hear me? Yeah.
The woman was treated at a hospital and released. The truck driver was cited for failing to slow down. ISP posted the video online along with a reminder for drivers that read, "We can't stress this enough, slow down." A Maryland 8-year-old has spent nearly half his life helping veterans. Tyler Stallings was just 4 when he first learned that some veterans are homeless. He wanted to help and started packing up thank you cards with hygiene kits for vets in need. He calls them hero bags. In the 4 years since he started, Stallings has donated nearly 3,000 hero bags. He's also helped raise nearly $50,000 in donations. Call this one Little Hero Helps Big Heroes. Finally, the world's most famous rodents just turned 91 years young. Mickey and Minnie Mouse share a November birthday because they made their screen debuts together in 1928's Steamboat Willie. Here's some other fun facts. Mickey and Minnie both have their own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Although it's never been made official, Walt Disney admitted in 1933 that the pair are married, and also their original names were Mortimer and Minerva. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Man, I hope those 3 people in that crash, I hope they bought a lottery ticket. It was their lucky day, let me tell you.
Absolutely, yeah. Make sure that if you guys are heading home for Thanksgiving that you guys stay safe on the roads.
Yeah, absolutely. But how about that little kid in the veterans? So cute and so cool.
So cool.
And we can't forget to wish a happy birthday to Mickey and Minnie Mouse as well. That's all we have time for today. Thank you for watching this edition of QUTV News This Week.
We're off for Thanksgiving all next week, so from Zach, Alexa, Shane, and myself, we wish you a happy Thanksgiving with your friends and family. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.